Well, it would have been a process. What I've noticed, the research I've done, I've found, and this is what has been registered, that that the National Trade Council was set up in 1964. But I think that much long before that, there would have been various labor unions. And there need to be much more research on this, because I also noticed that people like Eric Gary, who was the Prime Minister of Grenada before Maurice Bishop, he left here in 1950-51 and went back to Grenada after he had worked in Aruba, because it was said that he learned the trade union activities when he was in Grenada, in Aruba. When he went back in Grenada and started a trade union, got rid of Marichaud, who was the person who was the hero of the working class, and he won the elections in Grenada and became prime minister. This was 1951. But then it was a general thing in the Caribbean that politicians who had a connection to trade unions were the politicians who eventually won the elections in the 50s. And this goes for Joshua in St. Vincent, but also for Bonham in Guyana and other areas. It was always the trade union. And then if you look at, because it's like a process, when slavery was abolished, these countries were more or less left to fend for themselves. And things were very hard. Many people left and went to other countries to look for work. You saw, for instance, in Trinidad, where you had a lot of oil workers from Grenada, St. Vincent, other islands, that they had a massive strike in 1937, for instance, where Butler, this was a Grenadian, who was pushing the action, and he was actually a wanted person by the colonial powers in Trinidad. So, but he was a Grenadian, and that, to my mind, helped Gary in the formation of his thoughts, in terms of social thoughts in Aruba, in terms of trade union. In Jamaica, we had Bustamante also, who was also a powerful politician from the labor union. So this was a general thing throughout the Caribbean, because they found that they were being underpaid. There was no respect for them. I mean, slavery was abolished even in the English islands in 1833, long before it was abolished in the Dutch islands in 1863. And they found that they were still being treated as non-human beings. So that trade union thing, also in Aruba, would have been part of the same complex. And in terms of Largo, actually Largo did a great deal of things in the sense of setting up hospitals, schools, having first aid groups, and all that. But at the same time, someone said last night, there were good things and bad things. And someone even said, I mean, the sport park, having different sport and recreation, did not just come like that. People had to struggle for those things. The workers were the ones who demanded these things and actually got them.